think that anybody cares that Ramses II technically was the first recorded road trip?
I don't know what that is.
Was he the guy that Moses killed with the water?
I don't know.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Browning family is certainly happy to be here this evening, and we hope you plan on enjoying yourselves because everywhere the Browning family goes, we have a good time, and we want you to have a real good time, too. So right now, consider yourself one of the family.
Hello, and welcome to PODLY LAMARR, Episode 3, and today we're going to be talking about road trips. Your favorite road trips. Our favorite road trips.
True story.
Like the man says. Hello, I'm Jeff, and with me as always is Mr.
Hello.
I mean, Ryan.
Oh, no.
Rob.
Buongiorno.
And Mr. John.
Hello.
How you doing, fellas?
Great.
Hanging out?
Cool. So tell me, what is... Oh, jeez. This is the Science Hour. I forgot to introduce that. This is the Science...
Oh, you're such a terrible host.
You're right, I am. I should just stop it right now.
What have you got against science?
I've got nothing against science.
Yeah.
What does science say about what the best road trip movie is?
You've caught me off guard here.
What is the Science Hour, Jeff?
The Science Hour is where there's actual some research done to back up whatever we're talking about, however nonsensical it might be.
Well,
It's good to get that out of the way early.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that Wikipedia is the end-all be-all, but Wikipedia claims that a road trip is a journey via automobile, sometimes unplanned or impromptu, or a journey, or a journey involving sporting game or games away from home, thus encompassing any journey by automobile, regardless of stops en route.
So the sporting events, that would mean that if I were going to go play badminton in the next county, that might be a road trip?
Well, no,
According
if you're like
You have to
kids
drive to
who are
Heiny Miney.
Take your time. One at a time.
Okay, then. Well, I think I'll just tell you the one other little science fact that I know is that the first recorded road trip was by Ramses II. Some know him. You might know him as Ramses the Great.
Nope, not me.
And
Where did he go?
he was actually born. He was born around 1303 BC. That's before Christ for the layman.
Around 1303, like 1303 sounds pretty precise to me, but they had to say it like around there. So if they want to say around, so they should have just stuck with like
Why not around 1300?
Yeah. He's around December 2nd, 1303.
He
They didn't really keep
he
the
celebrated
best
by starting a line of condoms.
You're
if
right.
I'm not mistaken.
Right. They didn't work as well. They were made out of fish.
Pyramids.
They're made out of
Fish
fish
scales.
scales.
It was just one fish scale that you put over the end.
Just the tip.
It's a big fish.
Just the tip.
So technically, if you do the math, that's 3,300 and 12 years.
You always were good at math.
Around.
Yes. Around that many years. That the first.
Yeah, well, that's if the old 1303 part is right, which it's probably not.
Right, but we digress.
You digress.
Ramses is the best.
The last little bit of science knowledge that I'd like to impart on everyone is that the first successful. This might mean that every road trip prior to them was not successful,
Yeah.
but the first successful North American transcontinental trip by automobile took place in 1903. And the trip was completed in 63 days from San Francisco to New York, and it cost, in 1903, $8,000.
Well,
And the one question that I had was that cost included items such as food, gasoline, lodging, tires, parts, other supplies. What I'm questioning is the gasoline and the tires, because I'm wondering if it's probably one of the first cars ever. They probably, what did they get, like 10 miles, and then they said, oh shit, the tire blew out, and we're out of gas.
Well, first they said
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, we go.
First they were 10 miles away from home, and they were like, "Where the fuck am I?"
Well, secondly, it's not like they had like gas stations and rest stops.
Right.
Like, where the fuck did they have to like stop off and like find an oil well, and then refine that oil into gasoline, and then
I think that the whole story just it seems like a complete fabrication to me. But the first 50 days was them going 20 miles and then realizing they had to go back and get more gasoline.
Well, I mean, shit, 63 days. Didn't that guy that ran across America only take like 40 days? Like,
Yeah, the guy was
I
like,
guess they were
"Fuck you
pushing the
guys."
car for the last 50 days.
yeah,
They have to ford creeks and stuff like in Oregon Trail.
Shoot buffalo, but only be able to carry
Right.
100 pounds of meat.
Most of their cars died of dysentery.
Yeah. And they had cheese and pepperoni on their tombstones.
Your engine has died from dysentery.
Well, wasn't there that guy that drove across America backwards too?
I don't know, was there?
I saw that that's in the Guinness Book of World Records. I think I remember.
Yeah.
that picture.
That's what I'm talking
Sounds
about.
like the stupidest record ever.
There's no way that happened.
No, it happened because it was in that book. That remember we all had it as kids, that like amazing sports stories where it's like one day Georgia Tech scored 225 points and kicked 300 field goals. It was one of those stories that the guy drove. They built a car made to go backwards, which begs the question: if you built a car made to go backwards, wouldn't backwards be forwards?
You know what they don't say about that story is that when he started his journey, it was pretty embarrassing. He actually had the car in drive, so he was looking backwards and stepped on the gas and went forward and crashed into the car in front of him. They don't mention that.
I think that the least known fact about that story is the fact that when the guy started, all he did was say, "Today is opposite day," and so he just counted that as driving backwards.
The science hour is pretty cool.
But then again, nobody was there to hear him, like what he was talking about or why
No,
why he was
had
doing it.
He had that kick-ass horn.
Oh, that's true. God, I want one of those so bad.
I don't. You could have like you could have a serial killer in front of you, and he'd be like, "Oh no, that is cute."
Right. Well, and your car's only going 8 miles an hour.
There's good scent effects there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't have any technical things to do like the master,
Oh,
so I got to do what I can.
and you do. I appreciate it. So,
And also the last thing is that road trips usually occur driving on roads.
you know what?
Typically,
I think you got something there.
Roads.
Roads.
that's all I got for you for Science Hour.
Well, thank you.
All right.
I would have thought the first road trip involved dragging all those big rocks from Wales to Stonehenge.
What that first idiot that did the first marathon? Wouldn't that be considered a road trip?
And there's
By the way, look up our first podcast on podbean.com, Podly LAMARR, first episode marathons.
nice plug.
But isn't that good? I listen to a lot of sports radio.
Very subtle.
Wouldn't you think that wouldn't that be the first road trip?
He's kind of by himself though, and he didn't have any beef jerky. Actually, he probably might.
Only news.
What news do you bring?
Records of that.
What news of the Westfold?
Thus concludes Science Hour.
Science.
I shall grab another glass of port. Thus begins Story Hour. Gentlemen,
Stories.
tell me your tales of your road trips.
Well, I think Mr. Rob there has a good hooty one.
I do have a good story.
Yes, tell me your hootie.
Well, right. So we went to Gulf Shores for spring break, freshman year of college.
Like
Going to a Catholic university. Of course, our spring break was when nobody else in the world had a spring break. So me, having gone to Gulf Shores and Destin and all the other places in high school, going to Catholic schools, another plus to party for Thanksgiving, party for spring break. We went to Gulf Shores. We rented a house. It was $300 for the week. We got a sweet 3-floor house. Had the whole place to ourselves. We were actually in a gated neighborhood with one other house with spring breakers being from Emory University.
Racist.
And, well, yes. And I didn't think I was going to bring it up, but since you said the word racist, I'm going to.
No, I mean the gated community.
Oh, well, yeah.
God.
So we were partying with these kids, and we had happened to travel with a good friend of mine. Let's call him Steve, who happened to be an African American.
You're right. I remember
And,
Steve.
On the way down, he walked into an Amoco. I think we were in northern Alabama, and as he and of course walked in to pay for gas, he walked in, and the gas station attendant took out a wood case with a .357 Magnum and just put it on the counter as our friend Steve walked in. So Steve walked out, and we all said, "Let's get the fuck out of here." So we pieced out, kept heading south, and we ended up partying with these Emory kids, and with our friend Steven. They had never actually partied with a African American or not enslaved them because they were from the South. Excuse our listeners from the South, but they're just literally like one of them was like, "Man, that guy's really cool." We didn't, think that they were cool. But so we turned some corners there. It was very fun, but on our way back, we had trouble renting a car for the trip, being 17-year-old ridiculous drunks, and Enterprise said no. So I borrowed my mother's Mazda MPV van. So we take the MPV van down there, no problem. Thing is great. It's good 7-8 person van, and it did us well there. And previous to the trip, my mom had dinged somebody in the front, so it's a little dent in the hood. As we're driving back, we're at 55. We're literally about an hour and a half out of St. Louis. So we're going about 50, 60. This yellow truck, everybody knows those bright orange trucks that say, yellow freight. We're just driving, and all of a sudden, BAM! The hood flies up. So I'm literally Tommy boying my way. But so the hood flies up, so I literally drive 2 or 3 miles, laying on my side, trying to look over the little crescent moon left over by the bottom of the hood. We finally get over to the side because we were in the fast lane. We get over to the side. I take my belt off. I tie the hood down. I pee on the tire, and then we go. And then I look to my right.
Why'd you pee on the tire?
Why wouldn't you?
Just out of frustration.
Right?
That was my conquest. It's like, Hood, you tried to kill me. I tie you down. Now I pee on you. And then I get back in the car, and my friend Steve, I looked at him. He is still frozen in the same position from when the hood flew up. He's literally like claws up, knee to his face, like scared shitless. I was like, dude, it's cool. We go. And I still have and use that belt to this day. But
Only for securing hoods.
right, just in case it's tied to my jumper cable.
It stays in the glove compartment. Okay. Well, a similar story. Rob also happened to be in the car at the same time. We were driving to Michigan during our senior year on spring break, I think. Or, no, it was after that.
Summer.
Research.
Yes, it was summer. Oh, yes, you're right. I forgot to Wikipedia my life. Look up Jeff's life.
Yeah.
This is, it's summertime after junior year or something, or after senior year, and driving to Michigan. We forgot to take into account the change in temperature during the night in the northern Midwest. And we happened to be driving across a river in Michigan and the
I think it was more like a crick.
well, it might have been a crick. Yes, you might be right. Anyway, the windows, the front windshield. I'm going about 65 miles an hour. Of course, windshield immediately fogs up. There was no recourse but left to slam on the brakes right in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, I don't think you make it clear enough. Like, literally, we hit this bridge, and then, like, finger snap, every window in the van is fogged up. It was unbelievable, and all of us, oh!
Yeah, we definitely all screamed like a little girl.
And slammed on the brakes.
Corny, it sounds like you're bad luck for
No
road trip.
shit.
Did you end up having to drive like Ace Ventura style for a while?
Well, I tried. But, I stopped the car.
You're a weird guy, Ace.
There's really nothing left but to just stop the car right where I was, just in case, we were happened to be sliding into the said crick. So,
No, that was like
That's it.
4 years apart with those road trips.
yeah, you better watch out. Well, we are a lot older now, the old fart.
Yeah, Jesus.
I have a story that goes along with. Yeah, you are. Well, I don't know.
Am I older than you?
Younger?
Older. When's your birthday?
Older. I don't think so. October 7th in 78.
Oh, yeah, you are older than me.
Yeah.
I'm June 79.
Spring chickens.
Oxford 79. All right, well, Gunn, you had a story? Let's not.
Well, I have a quick one that involves somebody that a little plug for a possible future guest star, Peter Barnes.
Don't use the whole name.
Oh,
He might be a prostitute.
Peter Williams.
That was his middle name.
That was his.
Mike,
That's his whore name,
that's his stage name.
Anyway,
which
so
you
he
might
moved-
find is also his real name.
Well, he moved out to Los Angeles, and I drove with him from St. Louis to Los Angeles.
Comments.
And
It's a fun drive.
It was a fun drive. We stopped off at various areas.
Along Route 66.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, and various other areas. Flagstaff. Amarillo, Texas. Anywho,
Occasionally, I'll be quirky.
Albuquerque. So we went to Lost Vegas, as I call it.
Oh, yeah.
We stayed there at a place called the Stratosphere. And this would have even gone along with our episode 2 at podlylamar.podsomething.something.com. And Podbean. When we were talking about hangovers. So me and Mr. Peter, we proceeded to gamble and drink White Russians until about 6:30 in the morning. And
Genius.
Well, I stayed in there until 6:30. We got back to our hotel and he wanted to keep gambling, and he stayed there until 8:30. And came back to the room. We left at about 9:30.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, no.
Of which I told him I cannot drive because I am still way too drunk. Of course, like he was less drunk somehow. And so I forced him to drive 5 hours to Los Angeles while I passed out in the front seat. He tells the story a little differently, a little bit more anger in his voice, but
Maybe we'll have to get his version later.
Well, I got one for you, Gunn, too, after this, but continue.
well, as I say it, the story is not as grand as I thought, but you had to be there because it was really just about his anger at me that was so great.
It's a long ride.
How
It is a
about
long-
5 hours. That was the short part.
Yeah.
Gunn? How about after a darts league above Hamilton, after drinking all night at 4 a.m, you decided to road trip with yourself to St. Louis?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Where'd Gunn go? I think he drove to St. Louis. What?
That may and or may have not happened. But it did happen.
Exactly. That's probably one of the greatest feats in drunk driving of all time.
Yeah.
By the way,
Successful drunk
Podly
drive.
Lamar does not condone drunk driving.
We
No,
absolutely
don't do it.
not. Only for because we don't care about him.
Thank you.
What?
Let's not, and we're not using last
The
name.
fact
right?
that you didn't get like 2 Romeoville and pass out on the side of 55.
Yeah.
Absolutely spectacular. That you made it all the way down. How shitty you must have felt those last 2 hours.
Yeah, that's where you're like, oh, it's further to go back.
No amount of McDonald's breakfast or coffee could turn you around.
Nope.
You know how he got through it? Michael Jackson's History. Because that's the only CD you listen to.
Yep, right. That's still, to this day.
That and Return of the Mac.
Still miss you, Michael.
Return of the Mac will find me. Oh my God. Well, hey, a quick sidebar that has nothing to do with road trips.
Ugh.
But speaking of Michael Jackson, what happened to Sammy Sosa's face? Is that the weirdest thing you've ever seen ever?
It is
flat
a
out.
strange thing.
The odd part is that's what he's looked like all those years. He just finally took a shower, washed off the makeup. He was playing with a different face the whole time.
So you're saying he was actually white?
Rather racist. Yeah, he was in blackface for 18 years. An insensitive thing for him to do.
Yeah.
I only use that face for batting practice.
I like that one picture that you posted where I guess it's his wife or whatever.
That's his wife with her lazy ass eyes.
She just looks disgusted. Something.
That's Sammy Sosa's face. That picture is the best.
The more and more I look at it, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it did the first time I saw it. It's still awful.
And he's like, "Oh, it's face cream that I'm using."
Yes.
If I put anything on my body that caused that much of a change,
I'd stop.
A, I'd stop using it. B, I wouldn't go to Vegas and let people take pictures of my face.
You'd probably also have a shitload of people around you telling you, "Oh, it looks great."
Right? That's like somebody shaving off your eyebrow. That's worse. It's like, "Oh, hey, I'm a white guy now."
All right, let's put a moratorium on Sammy Sosa. And let's talk to John here. John, you've taken many a road trip in your day.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of driving.
Break it down for me, son. What's the long down? I know you've got.
Well, I would say
you've got some.
The most.
Oh, you go ahead.
The most active year. At some point, I had a friend who was going out to. He came back from Europe, but he came on a boat.
What?
And he took he chartered a 22-day boat voyage home because he's afraid to fly. So he came into Are
you friends with John Madden?
Yeah. He came into the New York Port Authority or whatever over in New York Harbor, so I drove there to pick him up, and then drove back, and when we got back, within a year he was going to school in San Francisco, so I drove him out there, and if I add that up, it looks like it might be. Am I still talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I'm still talking, but
You tell us.
yeah. If I add this up real quick,
Carry the 2.
Carry that, and then it's something along the lines of about 3,118 miles or something like that. But
how many days?
I don't know. I think
around.
It must.
Around.
Yeah, around. It was just 2 days. Well, I guess California was longer, but California was 3 trips.
California.
I haven't been west of Dodge City, Kansas, so one of these days I want to drive somewhere.
Yeah, I drive out to Wyoming once every few years, and it's a good long 2 days driving. But that's when you cross Nebraska, South Dakota, and it's just 600 miles straight across with nothing.
Oh, it's like driving across Kansas.
OKLHAOMAA.
You might have good barbecue, but don't drive across that piece of shit.
Yeah, cut down through Texas or something and go around it.
Creationists.
Oh.
Wasn't Simon telling the story, or do we not even care anymore?
I don't think I even really had one.
Good story, Hansel.
The only
Cool story, Hansel.
has not much to do with. I guess it was taking a road trip up to Colorado and going skiing in Breckenridge and waking up. We were caravanning with one of their cars.
Whoa, bro!
The guy's girlfriend was driving in the morning, and we had just driven straight through the night, and she was kind of as we pulled up next to her, she's kind of aimlessly zoning out, staring forward, and that's when she was woken up at 5:30 in the morning to my giant bright white butt cheek sticking out the side door of a minivan on Highway 70.
It must be that the best road trips are taken in minivans.
Oh man, minivans you can do some damage.
It's almost a requirement.
By the way, if
Yeah.
you're ever going to set out in a minivan, don't ever say to yourself before you leave that I can drive as fast as I want because nobody gets pulled over in a minivan, because I found out the hard way. You do. Especially when it's not your own. I got pulled over.
Was that before or after you passed out in your minivan at Del Taco?
Yeah, that wasn't a road trip. I was driving to Quincy, Illinois, which is not a fun drive. But I did get pulled over in Bloomington.
Is that really a road trip?
Well, it's like 6 hours. It's
It was in an automobile.
in an automobile.
All right.
Also to a place I've never been to. So that kind of qualifies it. All right, gentlemen. I'm just going to run down a couple questions for you.
Do it.
What do you like to eat on a road trip?
McRib is back.
Jerky,
Jerk.
corn nuts.
Corn. I knew Forney was going for the corn nuts. He loves them corn nuts.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't.
Who said corn nuts?
That was.
Well, I know you like to eat corn nuts, Rob.
Oh, ranch corn nuts are the best.
Oh my god.
They're gorgeous, aren't they?
You know, the only time I ever. Oh god, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Right, the first time you had sex, you were afraid because you were all by yourself. What?
Snap.
That sounds like one of your dad jokes.
It was exactly my dad joke. But my food philosophy on road trips is to eat at fast food restaurants that you don't get around your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually like A&W
Oh.
comes to mind.
Oh yeah.
Or God,
Crystals.
what's another? Crystals.
Where the fuck is a
Culver's.
Crystals?
I don't like
That's down
crystals.
south.
I don't like that crystal.
Hey, Gun, can you turn yourself up?
I feel like you're cheated if you're on a road trip and you go to McDonald's. Like, you suck. Like, you can at least find a Wendy's or, like, an Arby's, whether or not you like either one. But you know you can always find a McDonald's within a mile of your house. You need to, at least you're on a road trip, you're like, all right, fine. I'll go to a Carl's Jr., which we all know is Hardee's.
Or if you're in St. Louis, you'll find a McDonald's 6.5 feet away from you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, same as Chicago.
Yeah.
I like road trips. It makes you feel like you're not actually eating copious amounts of sodium and saturated fat at a fast
Nitrates.
food restaurant. If it's a place you don't usually eat. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm at a Culver's. This is good for me. At least it's not McDonald's.
It feels exotic, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm at A&W. I just got the triple bacon root beer burger.
But they're also
This is
only
totally more healthy than a McDouble.
there are only
I recall
certain things you'll only eat when you're on a road trip too. Like, oh, why am I eating these corn nuts? I never eat these, but I'm in a car.
Well, I eat corn nuts all the time, but spicy chicken from Wendy's, I will only eat them on a road trip.
Oh yeah, I like those.
That's because the halfway between St. Louis and Chicago is that one trip. There's a McDonald's, there's a Wendy's, and there's a Sitco.
There's an Arby's. There's a Subway.
Arby's.
They got all the shit.
Arby's is terrible. I hate Subway now. Subway is the worst place on earth.
I remember a certain opportunity once driving with that same Peter Blank guy and a certain Mr. Bob somebody.
Peter
stopped-
Carnes and Bob Lecker.
Yeah. And we stopped at a...
Nice one. Nice cover up.
we all
You
wanted to
liked it?
stop at a Chinese buffet, except for Mr. Bob Lacker.
Lecker.
And so we went in to eat, and he got one plate of food. He had one bite, and he was so pissed off because he didn't want to eat there. He went and sat outside and smoked cigarettes on the hood of the car, pouting.
Did he go over to Subway to inspect it?
Oh, for God's sake.
All right. Next question. I know you guys all like your movies. What's the most overrated road trip movie? I mean, you hear all this shit about.
Road Trip. The movie Road Trip.
I would say I was gonna say road trip.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
I hope this
but
doesn't get back to the road trip, guys.
Well, I hope it does. I mean, but there's all those other road trip movies, judging by our pictures with all the transvestites.
So you're saying those are the best?
Well, I don't know.
Your Priscilla
But
Queens of the
here's the
Deserts, your Tu Wong Fu's, thanks for everything, Julie.
Tu Wong Fu's.
Well, I was gonna say,
I got the best road trip movie of all time, and I bet you guys can't top it.
well,
Go ahead.
well, I mean, think of all the bullshit movies you've heard people talk about and like fawned over, and I think,
I have.
and that's the one you're thinking of.
Go ahead. I
No,
want to hear it.
well, let's talk about some other movies. Well, there's National Lampoons,
Well, hold on,
pretty good road trip movie.
but that's a good one. I'm still talking about the overrated one.
No, this is the best. This is gonna blow you away. Anyway, I'm gonna save that. We're gonna talk about rated.
All right. Well,
Tu Wong Fu, Julie Newmar. Did anybody watch that?
I watched it
Well,
once, but I can't say it's the
I-
most overrated.
Snipes, Swayze.
Snipes and Leguizamo.
It's pretty good. And what was Priscilla Queen of the Desert? I never actually
That was
saw
with
it.
Guy Pearce. They were in Australia.
That show one's pretty good.
I really like that one.
Well, I was thinking specifically of Little Miss Sunshine
Yeah, that's.
Oh, good one.
as being.
That's really good.
Well, I was thinking it's a little overrated, but
Being overrated.
yeah.
No, it's not overrated. It's pretty good. But it's one of those movies on like a Wednesday night when your mom's like, let's rent a movie. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? I did see Jeff Tweedy in the theater. That was pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's like, hey,
Good movies that are good movies.
it's okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
What are the good ones other than Vacation? Clearly.
oh,
I want to
Let's
hear
talk
what your
about
favorite.
what-
What's your best?
No. I'm gonna top all of them. But what do you guys got? What do we got for best road trip movies? We got Lampoons, right? Road
We
trip
have
movie.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dumb and Dumber.
Fucking car with fucking wheels. Dumb and
Well, then
Dumber.
I guess you're
right?
fucked. How about
Yeah.
The Muppet movie.
let's not
Definitely.
let's not step on my segment.
No,
Pee-wee's
we're not.
Big Adventure.
What?
No.
Oh,
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
God, well,
And
never mind it.
If this one is in your segment, I will hang up right now.
What's that?
I think the greatest road trip movie of all time is Cannonball Run.
I do like that movie. That is a very good movie, but it wasn't in my segment.
Cannonball Run is spectacular.
It is a good movie.
Where are you going with this main ID? I'm just going to get a pack of cigarettes. So good. Dom DeLuise, you can't mess with Cannonball Run.
You can't mess with Dom DeLuise
No, you can't.
or his corpse.
No, you can't mess with him anymore because he's dead.
He's dead.
Cannonball Run, I think, is the greatest road trip movie of all time.
All right, let's play Quiz Hour.
Hey!
All right,
Quiz up! Yeah.
let me tell you about my road trip I had the other day. So, sitting around my house, I'm brushing my teeth, go outside, I'm going to go to work. Next thing I know, my bike is gone. So I ask my girlfriend, and I run across the country looking for my goddamn bike. I go to San Antonio.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Well, we didn't really lay down the rules, but you weren't supposed to do that. Francis.
But I thought that
Girlfriend's
was
name Dottie.
Dot.
it's trivia.
That also happens to be one of my favorite road trip movies of all time.
I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
Tell him Large Marge sent ya.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Even a
Deep
heart.
in the
In the heart
heart
of Texas.
You know, the first time I went to Texas, I was actually dared
Say what?
to sing that. I was actually dared to do that as soon as I got off the plane by my wife. And she said, no, they will really sing along. I was like, I don't know.
Did you do it?
Texas is a fucked up place.
No, I didn't do it. What do you think? I'm crazy?
Oh, you suck.
It's fine. That takes a lot of junk, and I didn't have it.
Yeah, well, that story is nothing unless you did it.
Well, you're right, but at least I had to mention it. All right.
Your wife's from Texas, not you. It would be her making an ass of herself.
That's not true. Yeah, I was like, and then
The stars at night are big and bright. Right here in DFW.
Yeah.
I have a movie or two that I happen to get off of a website that I question that it's a road trip movie.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it.
There's actually two that stood out, I guess technically, but actually three. The first one is Lord of the Rings 2.
Wait, it specifically mentions 2?
Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers.
You know what? That's just the poster.
None of them are road trips as much as the original Marathon was a road trip like we talked about earlier.
Gun, that's just the poster. It mentions the trilogy. Which I would wager to say that probably is my favorite road trip movie.
Yeah, but I mean, would you really would you consider that a road trip movie?
Yes.
What's a road trip movie? I don't understand.
You have similar themes and like motifs that would appear in both, but a road trip movie is, I don't know, I would stretch it back. Maybe I would even say like pioneers in like wagons would qualify, but nothing in Mordor, nothing going across the fields of Mount Doom or anything that's not road.
I agree.
You're fucking hard.
Don't you feel like if you happen to be at like some party and you're all playing a game or something, and everybody's like, well, what's your best road trip movie? And somebody says Lord of the Rings, you're like, you douchebag.
You just smack them in the nose.
There's no road or trip involved with any part of that movie.
I hate you all because
I have
you're all wrong.
The other two that I have,
unless you're a fucking Southron riding your fucking elephant to battle, that has nothing to do with it.
Well, if we harken back to Science Hour and we're going by that definition, like you have to be on a fucking road or in a car, then yeah, it's not a road trip movie. But I would wager say
that's like a journey to discover. It's a story about people coming to terms with things.
You're right,
and it's not a fucking road trip.
But it is also a life journey.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying that
it's a fucking shitload of FaceTime for Elijah Wood. So
I'm just saying that you're the douchebag in the room that everybody goes, oh, that is the dumbest answer I've ever heard.
Well, you know what? There were dozens of nerds listening to this right now agreeing with you.
Okay, well then they would probably agree with these other two ones I got for you that they have on this list of the 20 greatest road trip movies of all time.
All right, carry on.
The other one, Wizard of Oz.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's
bullshit.
Okay.
They're on a road.
Well, if you're going to disclude this one...
Well, I guess they have a road. No, now that
they do have a road. Okay, I take it back. All of us Oz fans out there.
All right.
The other one...
Passingly. No, I'm not.
They do have a road. I guess they trip lightly upon that road.
And the other one was Apocalypse Now.
That might not be a road trip. That movie's awesome, but it's not a road trip.
Of course it's great, but it says, again, this road trip entry is about the journey. I mean, I feel like whoever wrote this article just got really, they were really trying to stretch because they just wanted to sound smart.
Gun, you're reading a blog, first of all.
Well, then fuck that. Is it Basketball Diaries, a journey? Is Requiem of a Dream a journey?
Why are both of these...
journeys?
Those movies are both...
They're not fucking road.
Yeah, but those movies also involve a lot of drugs for me. I don't know why you thought those.
But are they not journeys through those multitudes of drugs? They're truly journeys, yes.
Wait, what's the question?
They're journeys. Requiem for a Dream is a journey, yeah?
No.
You go through a lot of shit with those people, and that's kind of what a journey is. But there's no road.
We're not talking about journeys.
Walk anywhere.
Requiem for a journey.
Requiem for this fucking podcast.
Requiem for your mouth. Stop it. Stop your journey mouth.
I'm done.
God.
You guys keep going. LeClaire, didn't you have some trivia for us?
Yeah, we stepped on all of it.
Gun stepped on it. Keep it going.
Stepped on what?
Let's restart it.
All right. I got another one. I'm a fucking hotshot car dealer. And, I don't know exactly where I live.
Rain Man.
Oh. See, this is not fun when you try to do stuff like that.
Only when you suck at it.
Well, no, it also... All right, well, here's about 10 minutes of this getting cut out.
Hotshot car dealer, I would not have said Rain Man.
I was about to go Cadillac Man.
I'm not cheating. You just happen to look at the same website as me.
Yeah, but I'm using it.
Okay, well, I'm not looking at that website anymore.
There's only 20 movies on it. How short can your memory be?
I'm really short, and I'm green, and there's a wisecracking bear that drives with me.
No, I'm short, I'm tall, and I'm green, and there's a wisecracking donkey with me. Wait,
I'm not going to say the name of that. What about, here's another good road trip movie, and would you consider it a road trip movie? If I told you Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because
I agree way more than those other ones.
there isn't at least a road trip from Los Angeles to Las Vegas.
Right?
Yeah. Several times.
And that is by far one of the most quotable movies of all time.
Oh my god.
Especially those who
So we got everybody's best worst road trip, yeah?
Did I tell us the one about the penis in the bathroom?
wait, you glory hold it?
Missouri? No. I was paying my bills at a gas station. It was an absolute desperate emergency, and I was using one of those just heinous ass, Western, like Sedalia, Missouri, nondescript gas station bathroom that doesn't, ever get cleaned.
Was there a key tied to a cement block?
Well, it's inside the store, but I was
tied to a dog.
Bonus. Yeah, it's tied to a scrambling possum.
The urgency of my need sort of forced me to just accept the situation, and wasn't able to do that. And I found out that the door was actually wider than the frame of the stall that I was using. That did not matter to me because I was in the middle of what I had to do. But I had to, the way I was situated, I had to hold the bottom of the door to keep the thing at least pressed against the frame, so it wouldn't just staying wide open. Is the only thing keeping me from strangers. And I heard a guy out there in the regular part of the bathroom peeing, but then I hear him washing his hands and he's all done. So I figure he's on his way out. Pops the door open, dick out, full on, like 6 inches from my face, just like this fuzzy. Dang.
For our listeners at home, what he meant to say was, fuzzy teeth, whips out his wiener, and John?
Oh, yeah, so that's a pretty anticlimactic.
All we have is then he whipped it out fuzzy dang.
And so I've had one testicle ever since.
Just a little... just an absolute miserable situation, and
he keeps talking as he goes off, and then he comes back.
The price of chicken is off the chain.
Price of chicken is off the chain, Rob. Thanks for reminding me. I want to remind you all at home, check your chicken prices.
PODLY LAMARR.
PODLY LAMARR.
Podbean.com/PODLYLAMARR. It's just that good.
I was going to wait for you to finish, but that URL is actually wrong, everybody. That is. It is podlylamarr.podbean.com. PODLYLAMARR.
And if
Slash
you're listening,
Jeff's a douche.
And if you're listening to this, you're already there.
This episode just crashed into a German goalkeeper. So, to cap it all off, let's go around.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's go around the table and let's all mention our favorite road trip movie. I don't think we've done that yet. I think we've mentioned stuff we would like, stuff we dislike or discounted as road trip movies. But I would have to say my favorite road trip movie, I guess it'd have to be Dumb and Dumber. Or I guess.
Wow, let's see. We should address that. Like, does that mean a road trip? Does that mean Gladiator?
Gladiator?
Road trip movie?
No. Well,
motherfucker rolls all over Africa and Europe from Spain to Africa. That's a lot of space, man.
Yeah, he uses a carriage, so that's a road trip movie. That counts, but Lord of the Rings does not. Okay, you're a dickhead.
You're an ass.
Okay, so he says Dumb and Dumber. Or did you say Dumb and Dumber?
No, not. I never saw that second piece.
Absolutely not. That movie does not exist.
No.
I'm going to go with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles myself.
That movie makes me sad.
Why? Because he's passed?
Well, yes. And his whole sub story at the end.
Because of the
yeah.
because of the way they portray cabbie porters at St. Louis Lambert International Airport.
How do they do that?
Yes.
What?
Badly.
Yes.
Put your drink
They're all
down
surly.
and answer the question.
So, what do you guys think?
All right, my favorite road trip movie, Beavis and Butthead Do America. What?
That's pretty good.
That's a good one. Yeah, I kind of I was thinking Muppet movie really.
It's so good.
Oh, well done.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows?
Yeah. Somebody wrote it and someone believed it.
That person was me.
Just for a silly exercise, I'm going to click on another one.
I'm a king prawn, okay? This is not a good time.
This is not a good time.
All right, well, I think that sounds pretty good to wrap up a little PODLY LAMARR action.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, let's...
It signs off for road trips today, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and like six guys probably. I wouldn't say gentlemen because you're probably not that great of a person. You probably don't open doors for girls, or you might even wipe boogers on other people. So you're probably not a gentleman.
Hey, I do that.
Hey, exactly. See, you're probably not a gentleman.
Yes.
But I appreciate it. I hope you come back and subscribe to the show. Check us out on iTunes. You can subscribe to our show on iTunes, or you can go download directly from the site. It's podlylamar.podbean.com. And
Spell it.
PODLYLAMARR.podbean.com. And
God, kick fucking ass.
yeah, that's
Look at the pad bean.
that might not be.
That's your pop.
All right, very classy. Anyway,
You ever go on a road trip with hemorrhoid?
all right, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming. My name's Jeff. And
I'm right.
I'm Rob.
I'm John.
all right, y'all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Magic leash that releases all happiness. No second opinion or anything less.